get to your tornado warning shelter immediately, as we have a line of thunderstorms off to your west that is capable of producing some severe weather, including tornado spin-ups, damaging straight line winds, very heavy rainfall, and perhaps even a little bit of hail as well. This entire line moving off towards the east at speeds of around 40 to 50 miles per hour. Let's go ahead and check out some of the wind in this particular cell, and you can see these brighter shades of green. These are actually winds that are blowing towards the right-hand portion of your TV set, right next to winds that are much, much weaker. So that in itself implies cyclonic rotation. That's why these tornado warnings are being issued. It's a little bit different than what happened earlier today in the Madison area. That was a supercellular thunderstorm, a discrete cell that produced a tornado that seemed to be on the ground for a pretty long period of time. These, if they do occur, are going to be quick hitting as everything moves off to the east. Quick spin-ups. They could be diminished only to redevelop. So again, just to be safe, we need you in your basement and stay there until the tornado warning has either expired or been canceled. This is Orange County right here, so we're giving you a lot of lead time right now to get into your place of safety. So we're talking places like, let's say, French Lick, Prospect, West Baden Springs. Those regions are the areas that I need you in your basement right now, as this storm is moving rapidly off to the east at speeds of 40 to 50 miles an hour. We'll go back to the reflectivity and we'll pull out, we'll take a look at the entire region. And again, you can see the scattered storms close to Louisville. It's kind of noisy out there right now, but these are not severe, producing locally heavy rainfall. Some of the stronger cores where you see reds, there could be a little bit of hail, but so far the cells around the metro up through places like Trimble County that got hit very, very hard. Heightened awareness, no question about it. These are not severe, but again, they're packing a punch with some heavy rainfall, maybe a little bit of small hail. This is the line of storms that is indeed on the severe side. Occasional wind gusts over 60 miles an hour, perhaps a little bit of hail, and every so often there can be a tornado spin-up, a quick spin-up as everything moves off to the east at speeds of 40 to 50 miles per hour. So we will continue to monitor everything for you. We're going to be on the air with you. Keep in mind, please, a tornado watch remains in effect now for just about the entire viewing area. The exception, Adair County, but everybody else is in the watch that goes until 4 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Meteorologist Suzanne Horgan is in with us, as is Daniel Johnson. Daniel's been here for the better part of the day as he was tracking the severe weather with me earlier along Mo Rose. Daniel, what's the latest? You've been checking out some of the chat rooms and things like that. What's the latest with this storm moving towards Du Bois and Orange County?
Yeah, so right now we're getting some reports of some hail within this line that's approaching Du Bois County and rolling through portions of the viewing area. And you mentioned, Jay, the tornado watch is now including the entire viewing area. Initially, earlier today, it was just for portions of southern Indiana, which was including Orange County, Lawrence County, Jackson, and Jennings. But now it includes the entire area, and that includes the metro until 4 o'clock in the morning. So the National Weather Service is watching this line as it rolls through, and it is, at least it has a history of producing some spin-up tornadoes in terms of rotation and what we see on radar. So, and Jay mentioned this one is not exactly like the storm we had earlier today. So there's nothing confirmed just yet in terms of a tornado on the ground or anything like that. Still a very impressive system that we're watching closely. We'll pop up Storm Analyzer for you, and you can just see where these red boxes are, the red polygons, and that's including Du Bois County, as we mentioned. That's up toward French Lick, as Jay mentioned as well. So get in your basement if you're in these red boxes, or even right around these red boxes, because these storms mean business. They're howling, moving very quickly off to the east, and they are having a history of producing some rotation here. So we're watching it closely as it moves off east at a pretty good clip as well, but you can see a pretty organized line right there that's racing off to the east. Right now, though, we have a couple of tornado warnings. We have one including for the Jasper area, so Du Bois County and just one more tornado warning up just north of there as well. Jay?
Okay, Daniel, thanks so very much. And hey, if you would, Daniel, there's a storm. Looks like it's in northern Crawford County. It looks like it's becoming a little bit of a kidney bean shaped appearance, supercellular. In other words, it's out ahead of the main line. If you would, kind of do an analysis on that one for me and tell me your thoughts. It's right there. No warnings with that one just yet, but it's looking quite interesting on the radar scan. So here we are, the entire viewing area, scattered thunderstorms now blowing up in and around the metro, surrounding regions. At this time, these are not warned, but they are producing some locally heavy rainfall, perhaps some gusty winds in a few spots underneath severe limits, and maybe a little bit of hail. But as you know, these storms are rolling across portions of Indiana and Kentucky that had the tornado earlier today. So no question, there's a lot of heightened awareness going on, especially as you move off to the northeast of the metro from Hanover to Madison to Milton over towards the Carrollton area as well. But we can safely say right now, folks, in those regions, no tornadic weather for you. We will continue to monitor the line off towards the west. Okay, let's go ahead and take off the warnings here. And what I want to do is zoom in pretty tight on areas that are closing in on Orange County, perhaps even northwestern Du Bois County. And you can see this little notch right there. We call that an inflow notch. Warm, humid air is feeding into this storm, and then it spirals upward into the depth of the clouds, if you will, way, way up there in the atmosphere. And as it's spinning and rotating, if that tightens, you can get a quick tornado spin up. And it looks like we're seeing a bit of a hook now trying to form immediately off to the west of Orange County. This would be southern portions of Martin County right there, just outside the viewing area, but it's right there on the county line, Du Bois County, Martin County. This is the one that's going to be pushing off towards the east, closing in on US Highway 150 in western portions of Orange County. So please stay in your basement if you're here in western Orange County or Du Bois County, as we have the tornado warnings in effect at this time. Your wind velocity, and yeah, it is right there, as a matter of fact. We have a little bit of rotation showing up on the radar scope right in that region, moving quickly off towards the east. As I go a little bit farther off towards the south now, across the remainder of Du Bois County, that just looks like straight line wind to me at this point in time. We'll continue to watch it. You are still under a tornado warning, though, across much of Du Bois County. Heed that warning, please. Stay in your place of safety until the line has passed on by. But as far as actual tornadic weather right now, don't see it across much of Du Bois County. Hopefully that trend will continue. It is looking like there could be something that wants to spin up, though, again on the Martin-Du Bois County line, and this is moving quickly off towards the east at speeds of around 40 to 50 miles per hour. So we'll do a track on that for you. Take it off towards the east at nearly 45 miles an hour. And some of the communities in its path would be French Lick, 1053, West Baden Springs, 1054, Greenbrier, Paoli, getting closer to 11 o'clock shortly thereafter, Chambersburg, about 10 minutes after 11, and the Syria area as well. So if I called out your town, one of these towns, and you live in that town or nearby communities, please get into your shelter area and stay there until the danger has passed, as this is a tornado warning, certainly for the next several minutes for western Orange County and also portions of Du Bois County until 11 o'clock tonight. Outside of that, let's pull out and take a look at the entire region. I'll put this in motion for you. These things are just hauling now off towards the east. They're going to sweep through the metro. The main line will likely before midnight. I think by 1 o'clock in the morning, the metro area will be getting out of the severe weather threat. It'll still be happening off towards the east-southeast, but it's likely that 2, 3 a.m. or so, everybody will be done with this severe weather threat as the storms are really starting to pick up pace and move rapidly off towards the east. So again, scattered thunderstorms around the metro, southern Indiana, as well as the Commonwealth, becoming more and more numerous. And then we have the line of severe storms packing a punch with gusty winds, maybe a little bit of hail, and even the possibility of a tornado spin-up that's traveling the Martin-Du Bois County line, pushing towards western sections of Orange County.
Linear or line of storms that are forming, but as Jay mentioned, there are little notches that are kind of forming within the line, like just little indents within that line, and that's where we could see some quick spin up tornadoes, and that's why we're seeing these severe thunderstorm warnings being issued and also tornado warnings also being issued. So just to review, 2 tornado warnings in effect. Once again, one in Du Bois County that includes the cities of Jasper, as well, just right around the Huntingburg area, about to get in on the action. And then we also have one for Orange County, and that includes those of you in French Lick. Just pay attention to this as this storm is moving east, eventually heading toward the Paoli area. But Jay mentioned he wanted to go into the one right along the Crawford County line. It did have an indicator, a hail indicator, just a few minutes ago of over an inch of hail. Now it's getting right around close to an inch of hail in diameter. And we can see it's a very impressive storm. It has a little bit of trying to develop a little bit of a hook. Yeah, I was just going to pop that up. But not too impressive, but there's some possible. But yeah, a little weak system there. But we're going to watch these because there's a lot of convection, a lot of storms that are popping up out ahead of the main line. And that's what's going through the metro right now. And you can see, we'll zoom into the metro, some heavier rain over toward the Prospect area. We're seeing some purple showing up there, maybe a little bit of hail associated within that storm heading toward the Crestwood area as well. We'll put it into motion very quickly, and you can just see where those storms are lifting off from the southwest to the northeast. Plenty more storms to go through here in the metro. Right now, just strong storms in the metro with heavy rain. That's what we're watching, but the stronger line with the severe weather is still off to the east, moving through, approaching Orange County, and now pushing through Du Bois County. So Jasper really getting hit hard right now with some gusty winds and a possible tornado in that area.
Yeah, speaking of which, that possible tornadic weather across Du Bois County heading towards western Orange County as well. Suzanne Horgan also in with us. Suzanne, are you seeing anything on the chat, what the guys are watching out there? And
they're watching everything very closely. You know, we are limited because it's dark out. We have obviously a harder time seeing what's happening. We have had some reports of some, a little bit farther down to the south into Breckenridge County, of some hail reports. And Jay, you know, if you switch over on that product to the rotation detection, you can actually see it kind of clearly right near Rusk. A nice little rotation that is also showing up there on the rotation detection product that we have, which is different than the storm relative, but that's a shear detector that we have, kind of shows where we're seeing that rotation showing up a little bit more clearly here. Fortunately, we have not had any reports. This is moving into Orange County. It's just a little bit to the west of Orange County at this point. So what Jay is showing you is the area where our radar is able to detect some of that rotation right now. So that's right near Patoka Lake, it looks like, just a little bit to the north and to the west of that area. That's where we're watching for that rotation. Obviously something with the environment that we're in. And you know, Jay, you step outside, it feels like springtime. Temperatures are warm here. We have obviously a lot of moisture in the atmosphere and some instability to work with, especially in those areas that have not been worked over. And we're starting to see some of those storms firing up right along that line.
Yeah, and this trend is going to continue, no question about it. Yeah, Suzanne talked about the warm, muggy air that we've had in place, and it appears that as we move into the evening, just a slow cooling trend is on the way, no question about it. So bottom line, these storms have the energy to work with, tapping some of that energy, that wind energy. Thunderstorms form as the storms blow up into the atmosphere with the stronger winds aloft. They tap those winds and bring them down to the surface, at least in scattered pockets around the viewing area, in the form of a damaging straight line wind gust or even a possible tornado spin up. And because temperatures aloft are so cold, you get the generation of hailstones as well, especially in those heavier cores, those stronger updrafts where you see the purples like that right there. And this is closing in here on western portions of Orange County. So let's pull out here. We'll take a look at the entire viewing area, kind of reset things for you. You can see scattered strong storms arcing from near Bedford, just south of Milton, to just west of Carrollton, on into eastern sections of Henry County. Non-severe at this time. We have scattered thunderstorms around the metro right now. These storms also not severe at this time, but as Daniel just talked about, they're still packing a punch. Some heavy rainfall, perhaps some gusty winds, and on the radar scan, we're seeing a little bit of hail every so often show up. Some hail indicators. Let's take a look and see if we can see any. Nah, not really on that particular scan. Maybe a little bit of small hail there on 64 in central portions of Floyd County, but that seems to be just about it right now as far as hail it goes around the metro. But certainly some heavy rainfall and some pretty good thunder and lightning as well. Now, as we pull out and take a look at the rest of the region, additional strong storms very close to Brandenburg through Hardinsburg, and then on the Indiana side of the Ohio River through Salem, northern portions of Harrison County. Go a little bit farther off to the north, check out that heavy thunderstorm across the western one half of Jackson County right now, immediately west of Seymour and Brownstown, affecting places like Spraytown, Freetown, as well as the Clear Springs area here in northwestern Jackson County. Lawrence County getting hit pretty hard with some heavy rainfall, some gusty winds, and of course the severe line as you track a little bit farther off to the south.
And I think that storm that you were watching earlier that you and Daniel were taking a look
Crawford
at is,
County?
yeah, that's now a warning, and that does include areas of Floyd County, Clark County, Harrison County, Crawford County, and then of course we have Orange County with the tornado warning, but also Washington County. So heads up for that one that you were pointing out earlier, Jay.
Okay, thanks, Suzanne. Do appreciate it. Everything moving off to the east, slightly north of east, at speeds of 40 to 50 miles an hour. So these things are absolutely flying, and that's the cell right there that's now moving into northern portions of Harrison County, far northeastern Crawford County. That's the one that kind of caught my eye, and right now we do have indeed a warning that has been issued for that particular cell. That is a severe thunderstorm warning that encompasses southern portions of Washington County, northern Harrison County, the northeastern tip of Crawford County, on into Floyd, western Clark as well. That goes until 11:15 Eastern Daylight Time. Basically Salem down to near Palmyra. Be on the lookout for some heavy wind, hail that could be 1 inch in diameter, and of course, some very heavy rainfall as this is quickly racing off towards the east at speeds of around 40 to 50 miles per hour. We'll do a track on that one for you, track the heaviest of the rainfall, and maybe even a little bit of a hail core as well. If you're in places like Fredericksburg, Palmyra, a little before 11 o'clock, some of the heaviest part of that cell will be impacting your community. Martinsburg, New Pekin, Borden, as we get after 11 o'clock, 5 to 10 minutes after 11 o'clock, and then Daisy Hill towards Starlight as you move into places like western Clark County, far north and northeastern sections of Floyd County as well. What do you have, Suzanne?
So Daniel's watching this one in Trimble County that was just issued. Trimble and Carroll County, obviously an area that was hard hit earlier. This looks like it's a little bit south of where we had the tornadoes earlier this afternoon, but certainly right on top of Bedford. It looks like certainly under the gun there.
Yeah, Daniel, what do you see in that? A nice little hail core in near Bedford.
Yeah, so this one for Trimble County and pushing over into portions of Carroll County as well. This one is in effect mainly for the hail core, as Jay mentioned. You can see the bright purple showing up in and around the Bedford area. I'll zoom in here. That is impressive here. So we have over an inch in diameter hail, an inch and a half as a possibility in terms of some large hail falling within that storm. So again, this area was hit hard earlier today. So this storm system is moving quickly. A lot of these storms tonight are moving at around 45 to 50 miles per hour. So very impressive. The faster the storm moves, usually the stronger some of the wind gusts can be associated with the storm. So the National Weather Service is mentioning winds gusting to 60 miles per hour and then some large hail possible within this storm. And it is moving off to the east and northeast. Check out Carrollton, also hard hit earlier today under a severe thunderstorm warning for some hail and some gusty winds as well. These storms definitely mean business, and they've been packing a punch, and you can see how far north and east that severe thunderstorm warning goes into effect as well. So that's impacting Trimble County, portions of Carroll County as well. And also it looks like just a little portion of, yeah, that's Carroll County and just off to the north and east. But overall, we have several warnings in effect across the area. We have severe thunderstorm warnings for Crawford County, also up toward Trimble, as I mentioned, in Carroll, and then we had those tornado warnings. Now it looks like, Jay, we want to pop you back up if you want to discuss the new tornado warning. It looks like that is now in effect for Paoli is now included within that.
Yeah, these things are really intensifying once again across the WLKY viewing area. There's the severe thunderstorm warning around Bedford for the hail, moving off towards the east-northeast, watching from Bedford, watching from Carrollton. Please be on the lookout for hail and also some high winds. All right, let's pull out, take a look at the entire region. Brand new tornado warning has just been issued for us here now in central portions of Orange County. This would include the Paoli area, Millersburg, Chambersburg, over towards, again, French Lick, just south of Orleans. We do have some rotation on the radar scan. This rotation continues to actually maintain itself as it moves quickly off towards the east at speeds of around 40 to 50 miles per hour. As far as the bright reds right next to the bright greens, don't really see that right now. But one thing I do see, and I'm going to kind of telestrate this for you, you see that brighter shade of green right there. That's a very strong wind that's blowing off towards the east-southeast. And then immediately north of that, the wind field is lighter. So that in itself implies rotation, cyclonic rotation. That's why the tornado warning has likely been issued for portions of central Orange County for the next several minutes as this line continues to quickly race off to the east. So if you're in this region, folks, bottom line, please be in your basement and stay there. If you don't have a basement, lowest level of your house in an interior room, stay away from windows, put as many walls between you and the outside to protect yourself. Let's go ahead and take this off. As a matter of fact, let's go over some of those safety warnings when it comes to tornadoes. Absolute best spot to be in a basement. As I mentioned, if you don't have a basement, lowest level of your house, interior room. Make sure that room, if it's possible, doesn't have any windows. Most interior rooms do not. Avoid those windows. Get underneath something sturdy. Cover yourself up. You want to help stop any and all debris that's flying around outside, of course. Mobile homes, if you can do so, get out of those things. And we ask that you do this before the storms hit. Make that plan to go somewhere sturdy. Perhaps it's a grocery store. Maybe it's a gas station, a restaurant, or a friend's house, a relative's house. Those are the types of plans we ask you to make before the storms hit your particular area. All right, back to the radar scan. Let's kind of reset here. Take a look at what's going on across the entire region. We'll put the rainfall or the reflectivity pattern back on. And a plethora of warnings now showing up. Most of them severe thunderstorm warnings running from Trimble County, Carroll County, and points off to the east-northeast. Really the same chunk of real estate that got hit by the tornado earlier today. Severe thunderstorm warning, northern Harrison County, southern sections of Washington County in Indiana. This is tracking towards Borden and Daisy Hill. So if you're in and close to those regions, be on the lookout for hail and also some high winds. And this storm looks like it's starting to try to rotate as well. So we'll watch it closely. And then farther off to the west, as you can see, we have the tornado warnings for that line of very intense convection that is showing, at times anyway, little mesovortices, little spin-ups along the line. So those spin-ups can certainly reach down, touch down, cause some damage, and then only a minute or two later it's gone, but it can reoccur. That's the type of situation we are dealing with. New severe thunderstorm warnings issued out ahead of the line in the orange, as you can see. Western portions now of Washington County, eastern sections, southeastern sections of Orange, down into Crawford and northern Perry. So really, bottom line, folks, anywhere along and east of this little line segment of storms, we have to be on the lookout. Number one, for high winds, some hail, and maybe even an isolated tornado spin-up or two. That's the way it's looking right now. Watching from the metro, you know what? We do have some locally heavy downpours around. but no warnings in and close to the metro right now. This would include New Albany, Clarksville, Jeffersonville, up to Sellersburg. This would include places like Prospect, Glen Oaks, over towards the Ford truck plant. You get into Pee Wee Valley, over towards Crestwood, down to near Fern Creek, even though we've had some locally heavy rainfall around Fern Creek and Glenmary. Not severe right now. And then on the west end as well, just light to at times moderate rainfall near the Portland neighborhood, down to the Jefferson County Memorial Forest, another batch of light rain. But the metro right now, seeing pockets of heavy rainfall, but no severe weather. All the severe weather on a scattered basis off to the northeast, and it becomes a little bit more widespread, where you see the orange blinking polygons, severe thunderstorm warnings, and in red, the tornado warnings, which we still have to watch out. So if you're in that tornado warning, Orange County, Du Bois County, please stay in that tornado warning shelter area until the storms have passed on by.
And
Guys, what do you have?
Jay, they did find in Du Bois County a 51 mile per hour wind gust. So that is something. Also, some reports in the metro. I had someone email me that in the Barber Mead area, they did pick up some significant hail there. We also had some reports of some hail into the New Albany area. And Daniel, I think, did you have a little something to add to that?
Yeah, so as you mentioned, we're getting those reports, some ground reports, some weather stations reporting some of those stronger wind gusts within this line. But we mentioned it earlier, the storm that impacted portions of Trimble County, Jefferson County, and Indiana earlier today that had that EF2 tornado damage. That was some very impressive rotation that was just obvious on radar. This is the type of pattern, as we mentioned, where there's just a really nice organized line of severe thunderstorms. And sometimes you look at velocity, you scratch your head, and you're like, I don't really see much in the way of rotation. However, we're in that type of pattern where we have so much moisture in the air. We had temperatures in the 80s today. Little bits of change within the atmosphere, and a tornado can quickly spin up here. So we're watching that organized line, and where they're seeing a more of organized rotation or a slightly more impressive rotation is where they're issuing that tornado. And that's the one tornado warning that is in effect for now. That includes Paoli, but that look at that elongated severe thunderstorm warning out ahead of it. That includes Leopold, English, Livonia as well. That's a tornado tag, so it means there's some rotation within this line. It isn't as obvious as the one that hit Trimble County earlier today and Jefferson County, Indiana, but there's some rotation there, Jay, and it's something that they're a little concerned with and want the public to know. Pay attention. There's a little bit of rotation. We're in that kind of pattern where the rotation isn't like obvious. It doesn't stick out.
Right.
But it's a type of pattern where these quick spin-up tornadoes could occur within that line.
Yeah, and no doubt. And the fact that it is nighttime now, you can't see these things. It's raining, so it's better to be safe than sorry. The environmental conditions are ripe for tornado spin-ups, some hail, and also some gusty winds. So no doubt that's why the NWS is issuing these occasional warnings where we see these little notches. All right, so there's the radar pattern right now. A scattering of showers and storms running from Carroll County, Trimble County, back into Henry County, scattered about the metro on the north side, the south end, and then back off towards the southwest, down to just south of Brandenburg, kind of scattered around Hardensburg right now, north of Litchfield. Nothing for us in E-Town, nothing in Bardstown or south of the parkways. That will change, okay? That's going to probably change in the next 1 to 2 hours as this entire mess, if you will, continues to sag off towards the southeast. Keep in mind, as Daniel just alluded to, we have the tornado watch that continues until 4 a.m., and this is for the entire viewing area. Now, it's the northern northwestern one half of the viewing area that's getting the severe weather threat right now as this sinks off towards the southeast. And again, that will happen after midnight. Our southern communities, the Commonwealth, will get into the severe weather threat at least for a couple of hours. All right, so there are the scattered storms around the metro, off to the southwest, and then the line of more distinct storms that is looking a little bit discombobulated right now to me, and that's great news. Hopefully that trend will continue, but there's still enough kinks in the line and enough appendages and inflow notches that the NWS is actually holding on to the tornado warning, especially here in central portions of Orange County. Flashing on your screen are all the warnings. The tornado warning, central Orange County. This includes you folks in Paoli. Please stay in your basement, all right? And then you have in orange the severe thunderstorm warnings. The closest warning to the metro is the storm that's cruising across southern portions of Washington County near Fredericksburg, and then heading towards Borden and Daisy Hill. It's very close to Palmyra right now. This will continue to carry it off to the east-northeast across mainly central and northern portions of Clark County. So if it maintains its intensity, we'll have to be on the lookout for some high winds, maybe a little bit of hail as well, especially across the northern two-thirds of Clark County here within the next 30 minutes. Another severe thunderstorm warning from about Carrollton and points off to the east-northeast. Hail and potentially 60-mile-an-hour winds with that cell. And then we have the line that's farther off to the west here. This line capable of producing not only winds on a scattered basis of 60 miles an hour or greater, but also perhaps little tornado spin-ups every so often. The greatest potential for that to happen in the near term will be right around central portions of Orange County near Paoli, and now just off to the east of Paoli. So we're talking places like Millersburg as well as Chambersburg. If you live in those areas, stay in your basement. If you're in western portions of Washington County here near the Hitchcock area, Livonia, Hardinsburg, be on the lookout. You're not underneath a tornado warning just yet, but this storm is moving in your direction. Let's go ahead and check out some of the winds in this thing. And there's, as Daniel alluded to, there's nothing that really sticks out to me and says tornado on the ground with this particular line. Matter of fact, I think even the rotation is becoming a little bit more ill-defined too.
Yeah, I agree, and we've been there, done that, Jay. I remember just was it a couple months ago? Suzanne was actually here during the morning show, and there wasn't a lot of rotation on radar, but we had a tornado touch down. So we've had moments where you don't see it too impressive, but we're in that type of pattern. You know, you recognize the pattern there, and where we could be seeing some of these quick spin-up tornadoes. So just one lone tornado warning in effect right now. I wanted to concentrate on that one again in Orange County. So Jay mentioned it. Those of you in Paoli, take cover right now. Get to your safe spot. Chambersburg as well. This storm is moving at a clip of around 50 miles per hour. Very fast-moving storm. So even if a tornado doesn't touch down, we're talking winds gusting to 60, perhaps higher within the storm. So a dangerous storm moving east with some rotation, not impressive, but enough where the National Weather Service is issuing that tornado warning, which will go in effect pattern there, and where we could be seeing some of these quick spin-up tornadoes. So just one lone tornado warning in effect right now. I wanted to concentrate on that one again in Orange County. So Jay mentioned it. Those of you in Paoli, take cover right now. Get to your safe spot. Chambersburg as well. This storm is moving at a clip of around 50 miles per hour. Very fast-moving storm. So even if a tornado doesn't touch down, we're talking winds gusting to 60, perhaps higher within the storm. So a dangerous storm moving east with some rotation, not impressive, but enough where the National Weather Service is issuing that tornado warning, which will go in effect through 11:15. So we have about 10 more minutes to wait and see if that does expire. And then as a whole, outside of that tornado warning, we had that severe thunderstorm warning just for the entire line that's rolling off to the east. So a lot of activity tonight. The good news, Jay, though, I'm noticing some weakening within the line, which we were talking about earlier today. It was always southern Indiana and just to the north and west of the metro that has the best chance, the greatest threat for tornado activity. Doesn't mean the metro south is out of the woods, but this line is weakening as we were hoping and expecting it to as we moved through the night.
Yeah, no doubt we're getting into the late evening hours, so losing a little bit of instability. Suzanne,
Right.
What do you have?
We were just going to talk a little bit about if you are in the metro, and obviously you are probably hearing a ton of thunder. You're seeing a ton of lightning. It's nearly constant. We have had some reports of some hail in the metro. Jay and Daniel, of course, have been telling you that we don't have any warnings in the metro, but I know it's noisy and I know it's scary. Certainly, hearing all of that thunder and seeing all that lightning, especially considering the weather that we had earlier today. We did have that 51-mile-per-hour wind gust out of Du Bois County. Several reports of hail from New Albany, Barber Mead, also some reports of some quarter-size hail into the Fern Creek area. So we have had some storm reports. And by the way, we always appreciate your sending in your pictures. They really help us, especially at night, Jay. And that's one of course, the most dangerous time to have tornadoes is because you cannot see them.
Yeah.
And obviously with the heavy rainfall that we're seeing right now, they would be rain wrapped also.
Any reports of wind in and around the metro yet?
Not
Suzanne?
in the metro. We did out of Henderson County, Kentucky. There was just a quick 46-mile-per-hour wind gust just moments ago. But in the metro, we've had no really strong wind reports yet. I think it's been heavy rainfall, some hail, and nearly constant lightning.
Yeah. Okay, thank you very much, guys. I do appreciate it. Let's get back to it. Here's the big picture. We'll kind of reset, tell you what's going on if you're just now joining us. Number one, we've got some warnings around the WLKY viewing area. One tornado warning we've been talking about. This is now in central and eastern portions of Orange County in southern Indiana, basically from Paoli and points off to the east over towards Millersburg and Chambersburg. That stretch right there. And that's very close to US Highway 150, okay? So if you're in and close to that stretch, just stay in your basement until the storm has passed on by. The warning has either been expired or canceled across the region. That is a severe thunderstorm warning, okay? This encompasses the main line segment for the possibility of scattered wind gusts that could reach over 60 miles an hour. And then out ahead of that line segment, we have these individual cells that blew up over the past hour or two, and those too are tapping some of the energy out there, the wind energy, rotating just a little bit, maybe becoming supercellular in nature, not enough to actually produce tornadic weather, keep your fingers crossed on that, but certainly enough to produce some hailstones and maybe some gusty winds, and that's why these warnings have been issued. As Suzanne talked about, no warnings around the metro right now. Certainly plenty of thunder and lightning, locally heavy rainfall, and even some small hailstones, but nothing of the severe variety around the metro. Folks, I'll keep you posted in and around the metro, no question about it, as the entire line continues to push off to the east. Watching from places like Brandenburg, right now you have a little lull in the action. Certainly a lot of lightning in the skies to your south and to your north. But in and close to Brandenburg, not much happening. Corydon, you folks, some heavier downpours, a little bit of thunder and lightning, nothing severe for you. Same can be said down near Hardinsburg, very heavy rainfall, perhaps a little bit of hail in and close to Hardinsburg, and kind of scattered around the Litchfield area. Looks like just north and west of you. You get over towards E-Town, you get over towards Bardstown, and then towards Springfield, Lebanon, Campbellsville, Greensburg, Munfordville. Not much happening right now. Everything is quiet, it's warm, it's breezy, temperatures in the 70s, but these storms will continue to funnel in your direction. So don't put down your guard, okay? Stay up on the latest forecast. We got you covered right here on WLKY. We're going to stay on top of this throughout the night as long as it takes to get these things out of here, because as Suzanne just talked about, there's nothing worse than severe weather happening in the middle of the night. It can absolutely be frightening, and we're here to alleviate such a feeling, and we're going to keep you posted, no question, as these things continue to track off to the east and also the southeast. So again, a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings, one tornado warning that really isn't looking all that good. It looks like it was canceled, didn't it?
Yeah, it looks like they're going to allow that tornado warning in Orange County to expire. It looks like your system's keeping it up, Jay, until 11:15 when it was initially supposed to cancel, but they did just cancel it just a minute ago. So that's it for tornado warnings for now.
Good.
However, we're watching this line closely, but as we mentioned, the good news is the line has been weakening. So this is something we expected. That's the good news. They dropped the tornado warning, but I believe there's still this tornado or severe thunderstorm warning with tornado tag here, yes, for portions of, and you can see here for a few counties, they're starting to drop that one as well. But this one is for 60-mile-per-hour winds here, portions of Washington, Perry County, and that includes Orange County as well, where we had that tornado warning. And then you can see the one off to the east as well. Still a little bit of hail indicated too.
And Daniel, I think that they're going to go ahead and try to issue another severe thunderstorm warning for that one, that the Harrison, Washington, Clark County line.
Got it.
That you were talking about with the hail.
Yeah, and some of these are big hail makers, and we had some impressive pictures coming in earlier of golf ball size, some larger hail size. We don't see any of that right now, at least no reports of it, but we do see an inch and a half hail being reported here between Palmyra and Greenville. So that system's moving off to the east and northeast as well. That's a severe thunderstorm warning for wind gusts 60 miles per hour and some possible large hail as well. But right now, no tornado warnings. We just have a few severe thunderstorm warnings now in effect for a few spots. In the metro, no warnings for now, but we're watching that line off to the west, Jay. We've been watching it since it's been in Illinois today and even areas out to the west of there. And that line continues to progress east, and it is moving quickly, Jay. So even if it's not severe when it rolls through the metro later on tonight, we're still expecting some gusty winds, some dangerous lightning, and loud thunder as these storms roll through. And they are quick movers, so that helps us clear out quicker. We're thinking probably 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning, will probably start to dry out here in the metro.
Yes, exactly right, Daniel. No question about it. Until that time, though, we're not going to put down our guard, as we still have a number of warnings in effect.
You see that
severe thunderstorm warnings. That tornado warning, as Daniel just talked about, is pretty much dead. It has been discontinued. Will be dropped off the warning map here shortly, but we still have severe thunderstorm warnings out there. The new one, which encompasses Clark County. I was talking about this storm just a few moments ago. Well, there it is. There's the new warning that does include Sellersburg, Charlestown, up to near Henryville, for example, Borden, Daisy Hill, everything moving off to the east-northeast. Possibility of some hailstones in that particular cluster right there. As you can see, there it is. And let's go ahead and track that as the storm is moving rapidly off towards the east-northeast at speeds of around 45, 50 miles an hour. So in the path of a hail core and also a wind gust that could be up to 60 or so, places like Borden, Starlight, Blue Lick, Perry Crossing, Sellersburg, and Memphis. If you're in those communities, just hunker down, stay in your safe place until this storm has passed on by. It's not a tornado producer, but it is producing gusty winds and perhaps some hail as it moves quickly off to the east-northeast. Or if you're in or around these areas, around these communities, please do the same for us as well. All right, let's go ahead and take that off, and we'll put the reflectivity field back on. Pull out, take a look at the entire viewing area. I'm going to get it over to Rick and Vicky here for our 11 o'clock news, and we're going to regather in the Weather Center and get our thoughts together. But as far as what's going on right now, nothing for the metro. No warnings. We have the tornado watch that continues until 4 a.m. Scattered storms as you work off towards the southwest into northern Hardin County, on into places like Breckenridge County, northwestern Grayson County. Much of the action that is potentially severe with hail, some high winds, farther off to the north, Clark County, and then back off towards the west here. Don't count that red box. That thing has been canceled, okay? It just hasn't dropped off this warning map. But there are no tornado warnings right now in the viewing area. We do have severe thunderstorm warnings for some high winds on a scattered basis and maybe a little bit of hail as everything moves off to the east. So kind of a lull around the metro right now. We're going to regather our thoughts there in the Weather Center. So in the interim, we're going to toss it over to Rick and Vicky. Guys?